asked to speak about Hisbodedus. So I always say that I'm making Hisbodedus 45 years. And the first thing I tell people is nothing harmonious a person has about Hisbodedus than I find anything else. Daven minyan, daven with kivana, coming to Uman. It's much easier to come to Uman than to make Hisbodedus even once a week. 1 hour. I mean, it's many people come here, mamish v'siyas nefesh, but to tell a person that he has to, meditate every day, that is really challenging. So I have a rule. It's not my rule. The Rebbe says it. Breslov says it. Anything that is difficult must be very, very good. I always tell people, no one got addicted to health bread. It's whole wheat bread. You can't live without this whole wheat bread. You only get addicted to things that are unhealthy, to alcohol that destroys you, drugs that destroy you. Good things, no one says, I'm addicted to the daf yomi. Like a sheep, you just missed the daf. Good things, unfortunately, we don't get addicted. Good things usually takes takes time to push yourself. I find Hisbodedus, that is one of the most powerful things. From my own self, I write down every year how many days of the year that Hisbodedus go without a problem. So at the end of the year, I time myself every day. And it's always shocking to see. It's always shocking to see that how, I write down how many times of the year did it go without minius. As soon as I want to make Hisbodedus, I have time. I get up very early in the morning. That's not a problem. But if even I'm awake, I want to make Hisbodedus, then the Eitzah Torah tells me I didn't finish preparing the daf well enough, and I have to look up a bunch of shalas. I always spend time Hisbodedus, not other times. Time Hisbodedus, an hour, 55 minutes was good. This time, never happened that all of a sudden I made Hisbodedus. I didn't realize it took 2 hours. It never happened. In my history, it never happened. And all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I look at the clock, it's 2 hours. Unfortunately, I cannot say it happened. So obviously, Hisbodedus is very, very powerful. So I want to explain something many people don't realize. Hisbodedus is nothing to really so much, but then, anything that ever was machadish this, looking down, the Rabbi Kaplan wrote a book about meditation in English. And he then also wrote a book, which is he only printed a few in Lushna Kodesh. He collected from all the Rishonim who talk about Hisbodedus, mamish verbatim, and just made a collection. It's a small pamphlet. When he printed it, I knew him a little bit, and I bought it, and I still have it. He brings down from the Geonim, from the Rambam, from the Sabovis, all the early ones, the Droshim, the Zoydis, a lot, shows how important meditation is. Now, let's start from scratch. Why is it so important to meditate? So, it's a very simple reason. If we don't talk to Hashem, we don't do any type of meditation, we talk about meditation, getting clean to Hashem, we don't have a relationship with Him. I always say, a very simple thing, a marriage has two things to a marriage. There's the relationship that you have with the person. Each one is obligated. Imagine a marriage, you have the man is a yaker, crosses every T, dots every I, does exactly what the husband does to him. He makes sure the bills are paid, he makes sure there's the air conditioner working, food gets, he does exactly what he's supposed to be doing. And the lady in the house does exactly what she's supposed to be doing. But it's no warmth flowing from each other. Nothing. There's no warmth, nothing warm. Such a relation doesn't last. We, unfortunately, have a relationship with Hashem I call it a godless relationship. We make sure we cross every T, dot every I. The Mishnah Chumrah. Every Chumrah we do Pesach. Where's Hashem in the picture? People have asked me every year that the Zohar Kodesh says that you're not supposed to ask for personal things at Rosh Hashanah. That is a shtickle, a mistake. The Zohar, maybe I'll talk another time about it, the whole letter of the Zohar. I always explain the Zohar this way. The Zohar says, the Zohar calls it, you're like a dog who barks, give, begive. So the Zohar means to say this way, you come to Hashem, and all you want is give me this, give me this, give me this. Where am I in the equation? What about me? It's all about you. I'm sure many people have relatives who they call you only when they're in trouble. All of a sudden, here I am. But if they're not in trouble, they don't even know who you are. Then he says, I should help them. You see, Yiddishkeit is based on two things: the relationship we have with Hashem, and the fact that we have to become the mitzvahs. Unfortunately, just by learning Torah, we don't have God as a reality in our mind. The Torah says, the first Mishnah in the Torah, the first most important mitzvah of the Torah is Yerushalayim and to love Hashem. How in the world are you going to love Hashem if you don't even think about Him? There's no connection. You don't think about Him. There's nothing. It's like telling me love the person who lives in Bnei Brak. Who is he? I'll show a picture. You can't love him unless you experience the person, you talk to him, you deal with him. Same with that, but with Hashem. Our Yiddishkeit becomes like we do all detail and everything, but we forget the most important thing. I am worshiping Hashem. I'm coming here, but I'm sure all of you had a difficult coming because I want to get closer to Hashem. It's not because we're coming here, or you pay so much for mezuzah, you pay so much for tefillin because the Hashem is, but we forget about it. We just, okay, we'll do it. We'll do it. The only chelik of having a relationship with Hashem, you must talk to Him or think about it. The Rambam held, the Chavis held, and the Tanya held a different type of Hisbodedus, but they all have one thing in common: you gotta think about God. And if you don't, He's out of sight, out of mind, out of touch. How can you say the most important mitzvah in the Torah is to love Hashem? That's why we have mezuzah, and that's what we have in the tefillin, and that's why we say Krishma. You have to love Him so much. You have to give your life. How do you love Him? And how? How does it even start if I don't even think about it? To love, you have to make God the reality. That's why Hisbodedus is such a powerful and important thing. That's why there's so many years. I always tell people, it's easy to be a Breslov chassid, call yourself Breslov chassid, but listen to the Rebbe, that's challenging. To do an hour, that's what the Rebbe wanted. An hour meant an hour. People always ask me, did he mean 20 minutes? No, he meant an hour. The Gemara an hour is a question what he meant, but the Rebbe's sichos is clearly he meant 1 hour. The Gemara where it says show, showing the body show me an hour, half hour. But the Rebbe really, it is not easy and it's challenging, but that you got. I always tell people to wait. To all of a sudden sit down to make an hour's brothers. That's very difficult. I always give the marshal. If I would have to run a marathon, I would run around this building twice, I'll be out of breath. I'm out of shape, I don't exercise. But the famous picture of the Boston bombing, the first picture was an old 70-year-old man running to 26 miles. How did a 70-year-old? He practiced. He didn't get up that money, he's going to run 70, the 70-year-old man didn't decide today he's going to run. He practiced a year or two, and he was able to do it. Your mind is the exact same thing, you should know that. Your mind is a muscle. You could train your mind to meditate. In the beginning, you'll be exhausted after 5 minutes, but it's a muscle, and you do more, and you do it more, and there are people who could meditate days, right? Because it's really just a muscle. One of my children showed me, and I won't spoke about it, so one of my children showed me, there's a famous doctor, Rabbi Tversky, I'm sure you all heard about him. In one of his books, he explains this, he talks about addiction. people have a certain way of thinking. And he explains in the book that it's a muscle, it's a reflex. You would think of something, you have to deal with your difficult feelings, and all of a sudden your mind goes this way. You could train your mind to go this way. This is what I'll speak another time, one of the most important things that I ever said. You should train your mind to think positive about yourself, about others, because we're naturally kvetchy, critical, unhappy people. That's what we humans are. That's one of the things. We are negative. We notice everything what's wrong in life. But you could train your mind. Same thing as Hisbodedus. You take time. It starts with a minute, 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes. Your mind, you're wandering. You push it back. You get some wandering. You push it back. After a while, you'll find that you could do it for an hour, and it's not exhausting. But sometimes it's super exhausting. Sometimes you can make 20 minutes. It's very intense. I'm exhausted. But you gotta push yourself ahead. I mean, so Hisbodedus, as the Rebbe said, is a way to get not only close to the Rebbeinu Shalom, to help a person in every way. If a person wants to overcome something, it's very any bad trait, just take time and it really does help. Just taking time. One of the greatest fringe benefit I always tell people about meditation is that you become a very calm person. And usually people meditate have a much better Shalom bias. Most often, because you have self-awareness, self-conscious. A person who meditates every day have a self-awareness, what my moods are. If I'm in an angry mood, if I come in, I walk into the house, am I in a, like I tell young people, often men walk into the house and they get all agitated, and why is the house a mess? My wife tells, it's always a mess. No, it's only a mess. He had a tough day at work. So he's just, lashing out, at everyone around him. I always joke about it when I was young. I'm still young, but I was younger, and had a bunch of teenagers. I remember I used to have a tough day. I would come home and tell my teenage daughters, I'm looking for a fight. Anyone was willing to fight with me. What it does to you, it just lets, you become aware of your feelings. That comes from meditation. The more a person meditates, the more he has a self-awareness of himself. And you realize you're in a bad mood, you realize things are not going well, you realize you're depressed. And I give a class once a week in LA. I have a group of young people and talk about it, encourage them to make meditation. One guy told me, since he started to meditate, just 10 minutes a day, he tells me, not much, Rabbi, yet, he says, his Shalom Bayis got better. I says, how? He says he became aware when he's in a bad mood, when he's depressed. He says, I never even aware sometimes I'm depressed. I could walk around days depressed, and I realize, hey, I'm depressed for 3 days now. So that's good, because if you don't meditate, you don't have a self-awareness. When you meditate, you become. So it's not easy. I'm going to tell you all. And as I told you, I'm meditating 45 years, and I could write. At the end of the year, I looked over my notes, and I have a calendar. There was, I would say, only about maybe 35 days that I had no manias to do it. The rest, every day, the Eitzahara told me, either don't make an hour, or don't do this, or, to split it in half. It's amazing to me. It is super amazing how much manias we have to do it. That just tells me the great power. Because only good things go with manias. Like no one, I always joke about it. No one ever had manias to criticize. I want to criticize, I want to be in a bad mood, I want to be depressed. No one has manias. Depression, criticism, anger just slips in. No, ever heard a guy to a therapist, I don't know how to be angry. Teach me how to be angry. I don't know how to be depressed. Just teach me. All negative things is geschmack, and it goes nice. And I said over this week's Pasha, and Pasha's Kesuvah, I said, Pasha's Kesuvah talks about the Bikurim. What is the Bikurim? Is thanking the Rebbeinu Shalom. That's what we do. We thank Hashem. You bring the basket of Bikurim, thank Hashem. Isn't that amazing? We don't know how to do it ourselves. The Rebbeinu Shalom had to give us the nusach. Rebbeinu had to give us the nusach, how to thank him. He tells us what to say. It's like a havdil hallmark. If you don't know how to thank and appreciate, we go to the store and get a card from Hallmark how to thank and appreciate. He says, you ever notice that we want to criticize your wife or someone? We don't go to Hallmark. Do you know why? I'll tell you why. First of all, we're angry and we want to criticize. I want to do it now. I don't want to wait to go to the store and get a card from Hallmark. When you're agitated, you're makbid to do it. Second of all, Hallmark is a small card. When I get agitated, I have a long Megillah to say. I say, I got to say. I don't care if the grammar's right or wrong. It's just go. The most important thing, Hallmark, you can't say my passion. Hallmark, you get a card, I'm annoyed with you. I want to tell the guy, listen how annoyed I am. I want to make sure he hears how annoyed I am. Good things, we don't, it doesn't go that easy. You got to thank. No one ever got in and thanked a person and go, before you thank a person, how did I thank you? How should I say? Negativeness never needs an encouragement. Never doesn't need encouragement. Positive things always is difficult. I say Hisbodedus in the same way. Hisbodedus is such a powerful tool that it needs continuous encouragement. And the way to do it, you must put away time for yourself. If you'd say, when I'll find time, I give a class for help young people to meditate. I always tell them, they always admit to me, if you don't put a time, this is the time to do it, it's not going to happen. If you say, I'm going to do it today, it doesn't happen. If you put away time before davening, talking about the people I deal are businessmen, a bunch of lawyers, someone is a doctor, a businessman, they all say, if it happens to be, it's very interesting that the doctor, because he runs an office, and has to run the schedule, he almost never misses because he has a break middle of the day. The nurses, you have to give a break, and that's what makes it about it. It's 45 minutes time because he's very programmed. So this is the same with yourself. You gotta program yourself. You gotta tell, and then you have to tell yourself a time. Don't say you do it early in the morning and you're not gonna wake up. That doesn't work. You know what I mean? It has to be a time. This is my time, and it'll be right after davening. It'll be at your lunchtime. You know what I mean? People have the lawyers in LA, I don't know, all over, they have to give a break for the people during the day, a 45 minute, 30-minute break. So all of them tell me that's the time to make Hisbodedus because no one could bother them. My office, my wife can bother me. No one could bother me. But you must make time, and you gotta sit, and you gotta turn off your cell phone. Or leave the cell phone in another place. That's the biggest avoid disorder. People get addicted to the phone, and all of a sudden your mind is wandering. Let me just look up let me look at the news or whatever people do. The phone has to be away and gotta be sitting. And even if you can't talk, just sitting and staying put teaches your mind how to start focusing. So let's say you start with 20 minutes. So even though maybe from the 20 minutes you do 5 minutes, you don't realize that really not. It's like I say, it's like saying I'm hanging out with Hashem. I am right now with Hashem. Sometimes, I just cannot talk. I'm just sitting there and knowing I'm sitting in front of Hashem is very, very, very powerful. So often, I'll just tell you about my own experience. Often, when I'm overwhelmed, and I don't know, I can't even start meditating. I always start with the thoughts that's on my mind. If I was overwhelmed because my wife is not well, or we're overwhelmed, I remember with the children, I would start saying, Rebbeinu Shloilem, I came here to talk, I am so stressed, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to tell you. I have so much to talk about. I talk about my feelings in the moment. You start doing it, by me it works, it opens up everything. Often you can't talk because there's so much going on in your life. So I just say, I tell Hashem, there's so much going on, I don't know where to start. I'm just so stressed out, and you can talk about the moment, what's going on. All of a sudden you start talking about what's going on, it alleviates, it takes the stress out of it, and you could talk about it, much opens up. But you gotta teach yourself, you don't have to, all of a sudden people think I have to come and I have to start doing tshuva. Just start talking to Hashem, what's heavy on your heart, then all of a sudden it opens up. And people ask me, they find saying the same thing over and over again. So I do very simple. I have this Torah, and I focus on it. And I talk about that Torah. I was give you Moshe this morning. I made Hisbodedus, and I wanted to learn another Torah in Kitabra, but being a rabbi in community, there was so much going on before I left, and I didn't get a chance. The bill of trying to difficult the Torah in the community, so I didn't have a chance. But I just made Hisbodedus and the Torah I learned a month ago. Just remember the Torah, just talking about it. It's enormously powerful. It's unbelievably powerful. And that is the one thing that gets us close to Hashem. That's the one thing that brings you to Shemayim. Because unfortunately, we have so much, every person here in this room has so much on their mind. Most of people, just to live alone, to cope with life is stressful. You gotta be married. That's another stress. You're raising children, or you're married off your children, or you make a panasa. These all take so much of a person, and you gotta be from, do the mitzvahs. And now I'm just telling you to meditate. I find the other way around. When you meditate, everything becomes sort of in a case they're much better. So there's no, the most encouraging thing I can tell you all is just discipline yourself. You must, and even if you can't, you sit down and you are totally, remember there were times in the early ages that I just couldn't talk. I don't know why. I just was speechless. But I disciplined myself, stay put, even I cannot talk. Just stay put. I used to stay put for 20 minutes, and nothing could come from out of my mouth. But then I learned later in life that if you focus what's bothering you, or just say, I remember there were times of growing tough times, I would say to Boinstein, I'm in such an angry mood. Now, let me tell you an interesting thing, because many people don't know this. David the Melech says twice in Tehillim that he's very angry. Because a lady before I came, just a few days before I came, was going through mamish unbelievable tzaras. And she tells me she can't daven. She's so angry at Hashem. So I took her to Tehillim, and I showed her. David the Melech says twice in Tehillim that he's angry. You know how angry he is? Osheshu Nikas Eini. I'm so angry that my eyes dim. I never got so angry in my life that my eyes dim. But the people tell me, the people get so angry they others learn, not just my eyes dim, my eyes rot, but Rashi learned the Shem, who was he angry? He just was angry. All right, David the Melech was calmed down quickly, but he was angry. Right? I sit down. I remember going through a time I was just angry. Going through such a difficult time. I was just angry. I would tell Hashem, I am so frustrated and angry. I'm also angry with you. Things are just horrible. I don't know why I'm going through this. And you talk what's going on in your mind. It opens your heart to be able to express whatever's going on. Because life without stress is not life. That's how it is. And I give a mashal just to put things in perspective. So right now I'm giving the class, one of my classes, and a young guy who bought a house for a few $1 million. Right? So I wanted to point out to everyone that you would think he's young, he's quite young, and lives in a huge house. And I go into detail, but you would say, wow. So I asked him, do you mind telling how frustrated you are with this new house? Everyone else said, everyone the young people said, I wish I could have this house. I mean, I live in a 2-bedroom. This guy lives, this is a huge house. I mean, the LA Star, I'm talking about, Because in life, nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. There's a famous Rizal. Rizal said, after Chetu diminution, there was a Tarivis Toivara in everything. There's no one's body is perfect. Every one of us went to the eye doctor, and everyone has a dentist, and everyone has aches and pains. No one was born, my body is perfect. We all have a mixture of good and bad, and everyone, his psychic is, in Yiddish there's a famous saying, Everyone has a Meshigas, but a Meshugana has one too many. We all have Meshigas. Just someone who's crazy never has one too many. That's between me and him, there's no difference. I can have one or two, and he has too many. That's how the Banishim, after Chedu, the Banishim, we have our hang-ups, we have our things. There's no perfection. You know what I mean? In every way. There's no perfect marriage, there's no perfect body, there's no perfect you. Yourself, if you're honest, how frustrated you are with yourself. The trick is, when you meditate, is to focus on the things that are important. Sometimes people focus on some they focus. So, I just want to focus on another thing. Many people, what can I speak?
Mincha 7:10.
What's the second thing of the
The second place where it's cast.
2 times the Torah was anger. What was the second time?
Speak up the one.
What was the second
Where's
time?
the second time it doesn't mention the dealing
The
with
Gemara says in Kapitel Vav, in Kapitel Lamed Aleph. He says the same words, Ashushu Mikas Eidi. Take a look at Kapitel Lamed Aleph, Lamed Aleph 31. He says it twice. So now, he got angry. You know how angry he got? If you learn, he says, I got angry, my eyes dimmed from anger. Others learn my socket. The others showed them their darkness, others learned that. The Melech was very passionate and full of feelings. But he admitted. Now, why are you angry? Everything is mashed. Yes, for the moment you be so angry that he says, my eyes dimmed from anger. It's running from anger. So we don't allow ourselves to feel the feelings. The Melech says. That means that's what he just said. You sit down and talk to Hashem, and you say, I'm so disappointed. I didn't think this is going to happen to me. We all have that in life. We always expect this should happen to me. I always say, and in my shul I say, no one ever came to me when things are going so good. Why me? It never happened. My career as a rabbi, that never happened. I have all the time people coming. They're going through this, going through. Why? And now people are blessed. Unbelievable. You know why? It's because of me. That's why everything is going so well. When something is bad, I put this in perspective. I say all this story. A guy came with his very young daughter, maybe 2 or 3 years old, and wow, that cute girl. He goes to me this way. Next year he comes. Now the child was not so good looking. I say to him, remember last year? He said, this is my wife's. When things good go to you, it's me. That's why everything is going good. When things go bad, why me? That's how we unfortunately humans are. You have to, the more you meditate, the more you realize over and over, everything is from Hashem. See why meditation is so important. I'll soon explain another thing. Because so many things happen to us all day long. Every person's life, his family life is with children, and there's business, and your own personal mishigasim. If you admit to yourself, we all have idiosyncrasies. Nice way of saying we're a little bit cuckoo, a little bit. We all have it, and we struggle with it. So if you talk to Hashem about it, you could talk to Him, and it helps you enormously and puts things in perspective. And one of the main things that I was said is you talk to the Bnei Shalom, I want to get close to you. Who doesn't want to get close to Hashem? You all came to see this nefesh over here. No one, I don't imagine no one came with the easy way, no problem, just come. Everyone has their manias. And you come, we don't realize that we're doing this because we want to get close to Hashem. So the Rebbe taught us the most powerful thing he said, talk to the Bnei Shalom. Make God a reality. The more you talk, the more you will be helped.
It's like an Itzahara that rather learn than
I have that every day. I said, beginning for the 365 days, maybe 30, I remember a little bit 35 days, I was no problem. Yesterday, I got up anyways very early, finished preparing the Daf Yomi, and the Eitzahara tells me I have to look up this shala, and this question came up, and the last 2 months I have a very complicated din Torah. And the Eitzahara always told me, you have to look up that again, check that out, and it doesn't happen when I'm schmoozing and someone, wait a minute, it's always, when it's like middle of davening is that's, there's a famous story from the Shinver Rebbe, the son of Divrei Chaim. So someone came to Divrei Chaim, the son of the Shinver, the son of him, he was a big Gur, he was a Gur in Olam, and he was a Rebbe. And he asked the question that he did a business with the Goy, and the Goy made a mistake, and does he have to go back? And he asked a bunch of questions, looked up Shulchan Aruch, he says, such a case, after he told him all the details, you don't have to. He says, the Rebbe, what happens, the Goy is going to realize? The Rebbe tells me he doesn't daven. He says, when do you realize your mistakes? Middle of davening, the Goy doesn't daven. All of a sudden you start davening, you realize, I watch people davening. They take out the smartphone and start, either texting or writing down things. That's when your mind is.
Do you picture Hashem in your mind when you? What was it?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I'll share how I do it personally.
Yeah.
I love to also, besides the Rebbe's meditation, I also love to do the Rambam's and the Tana's meditation, which I think about the Rebbeinu Shalom is all over the world. And I sometimes even, learn an article. In my spare time, I study astrophysics.
Yeah.
So, what I do is I just think about the amazing, the stars and the complexity. And, I have a picture of one of this, group of stars, which tells you how far it is, 200 million light years away. What that means, I think before I start meditating, I do that the last few years, helps me enormously. So I just think about the greatness of Hashem and the wisdom of Hashem. And then it's much easier to talk. Then I do it for first 10 minutes. And sometimes I do. I even sometimes meditate. I close my eyes and I picture myself, the Rebbe looking at me. Because there's a famous Torah Ein Aleph, I think, Chelik Beis, and the Rebbe looks at you, it's not Samoichem, your mind works better, sparks the mind, famous Torah. It's good to be with the tzaddik. When the tzaddik looks at him, Atur Sechza, it's a famous Torah. So just think about it, and it also brings, opens my mind. So that's how I start, usually about the first 10, 15 minutes. I meditate about the greatness of Hashem, and I find it to be much easier afterwards. But again, the trick is it takes discipline. You must tell yourself to do it every day. And don't say, you are going to do it, today. And when I ask people, they said, are you going to do it today? It doesn't happen. Last year, at the beginning of the day, someone asked me, I was fine with someone, he asked me, do you have a young guy? I says, before I have a schedule every day what I'm going to do. They don't want to waste my time, so I know I get up this time and do the meditation this time. If you think about your day ahead of time, you make sure you meditate. If you don't, it doesn't happen. Yes? That's all.
What about the focusing factor? I think we live in this day and age where someone sends you like a video and if it's 4 minutes long, you're not going to look at it. If it's 57 seconds, you might look at it. It's like 30 seconds, okay, I'll watch it. Like instant everything at our fingertips. And I feel like just the focusing.
You train your mind. I mentioned in the beginning, a person's mind is a muscle. That's right. What it is. And I mentioned this Dr. Rabbi Tversky. He talks about people who are alcoholics, explain why they have difficult dealing with things. All of a sudden, their mind goes this way. You could train your mind to go this way. Your mind is muscles. You know what I mean? And if you're beginning, you'll focus for 1 minute, you'll be exhausted. The people have told me after a few minutes, they just can't do it. But the more you push yourself, it's like learning Gemara. Certain people who can't sit for 5 minutes. But the truth is, you could train yourself to sit hours long studying. And there's no question. Now people do it in yeshivas. Focus. Beginning is very difficult. There's no question it's very difficult. To sit for hours, tell a yeshiva bacha, but people do it. It's not that they're gifted. You could train your body and mind for anything. People play chess, the havdil, are focused for an hour. And after they finish the chess game, they are sweating. The shirt is dripping wet because they focus. You could train your mind that way. So there's no trick to it. You just got to discipline yourself. You know, and what I do is, unfortunately, I do have a smartphone. It doesn't have the internet on it. The reason I have a smartphone because people text me with showers. So I have one of the things that I time myself how much Hisbodedus I make, because I used to remember years ago I used to cheat. Yeah, it's an hour. Push a button. Now I'm starting. You know. Wow, it's only 11 minutes. I thought it was this morning. I was making Hisbodedus, and I look at it. How long is it? Only 11 minutes. I thought it's at least a half hour. I used to like this. I know how much I'm doing it, and I rather not fool myself to know this is how much I did then. Any other questions? Yes.
How loud is your voice when you do
I
this?
just talk.
Yeah.
I just talk simple.
Like you're talking to another person?
The other person. I want to say something very interesting. I remember there were times when I have a house full of children, it was difficult always to meditate. Remember I used to drop one of my children with dentists that I'd wait to drive around the block and meditate. People has been looked at you strange. Now no one's going to look at strange. Everyone has a cell phone and I do it. It happened recently. I dropped my wife over the dock, then I went around the block. Oh, and now I was meditating. No one looked at me. I remember years ago, this guy's talking to himself. What's the guy? People think I'm on the phone. Most people lately, anyways, don't look. They used to walk. Now people, anyways, are looking at the phone and walk. No one cares about you. But you have to discipline yourself. And the HR is going to tell you, I don't have time. Just tell yourself, honest, I do have time. I just don't want to do it. It's too stressful to do it. Be more honest with yourself. The more honest with yourself, the easier it's going to be to do it. But you must start sitting for 20 minutes, even though you only make 3 minutes, and then your mind wanders. It's a muscle that you got to teach how to use it. Yes.
I get a little stuck in my routine, my Hisbodedus. About thanking Hashem for probably I do half an hour daven, and then I do half an hour. That's how I do mine.
So what you have to do is, he says, get stuck routine. People ask me all the time. I do that by learning over one of the Hisbodedus and turn one of the Kitamron studies. Or you don't have to do it. I remember when I was young, I remember very clearly, I took this, let's say his father met me, Rabbi Kramer, I was very young. I used to have the Likuteitzes, and I would take the Likuteitzes and just work on one thing, for a week, and read, and take that advice and tell the Rebbeinu Shalom, take Emunah, or take eating, and just talk about, I remember Shmiras Abris, I would just focus on those titles, just straight from the Likuteitzes, I would do. So it shouldn't be so routine. But the trick is, you got to tell yourself you're going to do it. And the trick is you got to discipline yourself and have a certain time to do it. Yes?
I have found that, if I just set out, if I try to do an hour, we talked about this before, but I just want to say, if I try to do an hour, sometimes I feel that it's important to just be there and show up, even if you're not really going anywhere. And I think you get a breakthrough at a certain amount of time. It's just kind of like a weird, it's not like I go into it, I'm like, oh, there it is. But I'm wondering if that's normal.
That's very true what he said.
I wonder if that's normal.
Yes, it's very true what he just said. Let me just explain what he said. I find that very true. If you don't show up, you don't show up to the shir, you're not going to get nothing. People tell me, anyone on Daf Yomi knows the last few blot, it was the Meluchas beginning of those last 20 are very difficult, but if you don't show up, if you show up, at least you have something. So what he's saying, at least you show up, his brother this, he's been there for a long time, I'm here. And in the Pasha Bikurim, is this a Krisa Torah in it? No. There has Krisa Torah in it? Just quote a pasuk. It doesn't have Kisavai. Yeah, Kisavai. Beginning of Kisavai. This what he just said is a very powerful thing. It says in the beginning. It says like this.
Which parsha?
Parsha Kisavai. Ivusu el hakoyen asher b'yumahem. You should come to the kohen. That's in those days. Marto Elov, Igaditi haim Hashem Elokecho, kivusi, I'm telling Hashem, I proclaim, in Igaditi means I proclaim to Hashem, kivusi aloretz, I came to his land, ashenish ba Hashem avasenu sisnoni. This is before he starts the vidi. The lady starts the vidi. He says, he proclaims, I am here. Shkoyach. Igaditi, that's what he's doing. This person is saying nothing, just proclaiming, I am here. That's exactly what he says. Sometimes I'm in meditation, I do it sometimes. I'm here to come to talk to you, and I can't even open my mouth. I would say that. I am here, I'm pushing myself. I'm so stressed out. But Baruch Hashem, the last few years don't have it, because when I'm stressed out, I learned what helps the most is talk about your stress. I say, exactly, let it be an argument you have with your wife and you're annoyed about it. I always tell young people, just a side thing, I was sitting and I come into my shul and I hear a guy telling a guy, that potato chips is not kosher. And he says, it's Lay's potato chip. I don't know if you're an American, it's Lay's potato chip. He says, this is not kosher. That kid doesn't know, you know why? This is cheese. So I was wondering why it tastes so good. I tell people, imagine you get into an argument with your wife, which it shouldn't happen, but that's all the honest truth. We do get into an argument. No one says after the argument, I shouldn't have done it, but it tastes so good. After anyone has a good argument, feels lousy. No one feels good. So I remember when I was young, I used to say to the Baruch Shalom, I got into an argument. I feel horrible about it. I feel lousy about it. I feel humiliated about it. I would just say what's on my mind. That opens up your heart, because that is what I found in years of meditating. That is like the clipper, sort of the shell that doesn't break through. But if you just focus, this is what's going to, because why is it so hard to meditate? Because there's so many things going on in your mind. Your mind is you're pulled in all directions, because feelings, emotions, is very powerful. Slowly you'll see you'll be able, but what he said is very true. Just sometime I said to Hashem, here I am, kibusi ala uretz, I am here. I came to talk to you. I came to spend time with you. Any other question?
Yeah. I was told by a very good friend of mine that had very big manias to begin with Hisbodedus, right? And a very good friend of mine told me the first beginning was with Monoshil, I'm talking to you. The second thing was, thank you. Being Oda, right? And even the little things, and then it opens the road to.
But people say that becomes routine. People always ask me, that becomes routine. He was saying, the thank becomes routine. So I find, and there's so much in life going on. There's so much that you want to change. Everyone wants to change. So again, my encouragement is that I give a group in LA. We have about 7 do it every day now. I committed, and it helps them enormously. They say coming once a week together to talking about Hisbodedus and the challenges of it. They begin to do it every day. I would suggest wherever you live, get together a few people once a week and give each other chizik. Or let me tell you an interesting story. I have a very close friend in New York, and my Yiddish is my first language. He's a Chassidish, we speak Yiddish. Calls me up. I live in LA, so it's a 3 hours difference. So it's 7 o'clock. Comes, asks me to Shala, and then I say, Moshe, did you make Hisbodedus today? He's a Breslov Chassid. He says, no, today I didn't. It's 10 o'clock at night. Tomorrow I'll do it. So I said, Moshe, I need a favor from you. I have something going on in my life. You have 20 minutes to talk with me. Oh, for you, 20 minutes, no problem. He says, you gave me 20 minutes, I'm giving you back the 20 minutes that you just gave me and 12 days. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, sure.
Amazing. I tell people that they have a hard time, they can't meditate. I say, someone will tell you, for each hour of meditation, $500, there will be nothing in the world that's going to stop you from meditating. Your wife could be screaming at you. You say, I have to, it's $500. Honey, it's $500. There was nothing. So that shows that you can really do it. There's many years. If someone should tell you for each 20 minutes you'll get $50, just 20 minutes, extra money a day, $50 a day, I don't know anyone so wealthy you cannot say help another $50 a day, you would do it. He says, really, you can do it, just you don't want to. There's many years on it. It's not that it's impossible. Yes.
Sorry, the word you're using the word meditate. Is that as a person who has meditated, is that a precise definition that we should be using? Because aren't we communicating more?
The Rav Nachman's meditation was to talk to Hashem, right?
Right, like it's a type of meditation.
But it's true. The reason why in the Sichas Aram he says in the Kitaluch it says more than once the Rebbe wanted so much to talk because it's very difficult. He held it's much easier to talk to Hashem than to meditate. The Rambam's meditation and all the other types of meditation.
Right.
It's much more. It is. The Rambam's meditation is even much more difficult. The Tanya meditation is also difficult. The Rebbe said, and the Rebbe also explained that Dibber has it is true that talking has such a powerful thing that awakens you up. Talking, you start talking, and in the language that you speak. If you're going to read Tehillim, we all say Tehillim or Daven. It's got to be the language you express yourself. That helps enormously.
What do you do if you're falling asleep?
Well, that means you're bored. Yeah.
Is it also a confession at a certain level?
Part of my meditation is I try to do tshuva every day. The Rebbe said to do tshuva every day. So it's an hour. I try to put away time for this. So I try to put a time just saying to the Rebbeinu Shalom, I failed again, I messed up again. I just tell him what I messed up. Yes.
The one problem I feel that I have now doing, maybe close to 10 minutes daily, I know it's not a big deal, but for me it is I feel that I don't have the Shaklan Vitaria that I would want to get if was my best friend.
That's true.
And that's
important. Let me elaborate what he's asking. This is people ask me all the time. He said it'd be much easier if you would answer me. Sit in. Let's say you want to talk to your wife and she can't talk to you now. You can't talk for an hour. You can talk 2 minutes. There's no response. Let's say she can't talk, and that is a challenge. That's why meditation is so hard. That's why talking to Hashem is so hard. You just spoke because we would love to hear an answer. We would love to say, "Are you listening?"
Yeah.
We love him to say, "Yeah, I'm listening."
Yeah.
You gotta tell yourself all the time. The Rebbeinu Shalom listens. The Sichas Aram brings down a maveldige Sach. He says the whole world kvetches to Hashem. The whole world kvetches to Hashem. Everyone is busy. I want this and I want this. I need a refuah shalem, but I need panos and I need this. Imagine someone tells Hashem, I want to get close to you. I tell people when I was young, I worked in my shalom bayis, get into argument, and I said, all I want is to get close to you. And at first my wife heard it, what? You know what I mean? Imagine tell Hashem, all I want to get close to you. It says in Sichas Aram, the Rebbe says, that the Rebbe Kavayuchel drops everything and he's focused on you. Everyone is busy with their personal needs. Me. I, me. My young children used to say, me, and my shadow. All is about me. You know what I mean? It's me. I need this and I need this and I need that. Imagine you say to Hashem, yeah, I need it, but I want to get close to you. I want to have Yiras Shamayim. I want to overcome my laziness. I want to daven better. I want to make sure I join a daf yomi every day. I want to learn every day. I want to learn, chumash every day. Whatever. You're saying this, the Rebbeinu Shalom, that's what you have to tell yourself. The Rebbeinu Shalom drops everything. And when you do ask personal things, the Rebbeinu Shalom is tuned into you. This guy is, is also for me over here. As I said, the Zohar says, it's like a long part. When a person does tshuva, he wants to get close to him. This is a person I want to deal with. He's not just all about himself. So you got to tell yourself over and over that Rebbeinu Shalom really listens to every word. That's clear, no question about it. Even though we don't hear it. But you all notice, if you meditate every day, the day you miss a meditation, your day is not the same. Is that true? So it's amazing. To me, it's amazing. You know, if you miss a day of meditation, it's not the same, and then still the Yetzer Hara that doesn't want you to do it. That tells me all the time the power of meditation. Yes.
If one is striving to go to the mikveh every morning, Hisbodedus, Nates, what do you, if you can't fit those three in, what are the orders of importance, and you push Nates, I mean, Hisbodedus off to later on in the day, I mean, what?
Hisbodedus is the most important.
Most important. Over those?
Yes. Hisbodedus is the most important, because you make Hisbodedus, your davening is going to be a nicer davening. I sometimes, happen once in a while, I have the mikveh right next door to me, literally, my office is, but sometimes, things, whatever the situation is, I'd rather skip the mikveh to make sure I have a whole hour as well as unless the mikveh is, to disaster, you are with your wife. But otherwise, the Rebbe wanted, it's clear from the Sichas Haran and the Kita Lochos, the Rebbe wanted this more than anything else. From his fathers. Yes.
So, a couple of questions, both of which follow up from what you just asked. As far as the priority of Hisbodedus, obviously as important as it is, it can't supplant, let's say, Shacharis and Kamar, like our obligations. And if it's a day that, according to Rabbeinu's directive, we have to do, say, the Tikkun HaKlali, and you only have time for one or Hisbodedus.
That Tikkun HaKlali.
Okay, so in that case.
Yeah.
So, and the second thing is, when it comes to Mamid, like it's to be on an hour of Hisbodedus, why is an hour completely necessary? If, let's say you can say everything you need to say to Hashem for that day, pour out your heart and get it over with in 20 minutes, then you have 40 minutes to learn Torah or do something extra. Like, why
Good question. That's a good question. Let me answer that question. When I was young, I was a wise guy like that way too, and I said, why do I need an hour? I could do it in 20 minutes. And I remembered watching myself when I did 20 minutes a day, how my day was. If I did an hour, how my whole day was. If you do an hour, the effectiveness is a whole different day. Even though you could say everything in 20 minutes. I remember clearly. I see now that if I make an hour's go to this, my day is a different day. You would think about Hashem more. It's a whole different day. Any other question? Yes.
I remember reading somewhere that it's better to do it at night and in the forest. True? Like, is that really?
The Rebbe says it's better to do it at night in the wilderness. But now this is important. I'm happy you brought this up. People ask me this. People ask me why I don't go into the wilderness. I live in LA. To go to the wilderness. Yes. Well, I have to go into the wilderness, and the woods will take me a nice long drive. So when I was younger, we used to go once a week, and I used to go once a month. And to me, that's too much of a little title. So I do it early in the morning. In my office, I can't out Mekayim the other. But once in a while, we used to do it in the summer. We used to go to the woods, we used to hike, we used to meditate for an hour. But to me, I don't do it. But the Rebbe, if you live next to the woods, someone over here told me he lives in Bet Shemesh, literally 10-minute walk from him is the woods. He goes, that's great. I wish we have a forest like that. But I don't have a forest, so my forest is my office. So I want to tell you all, I want to repeat this. I'm doing it 45 years Hisbodedus. And I would say from the 365 years this year, only 35 days I would say it went without minias.
It went without?
That means every day it was a challenge. 35 days I was able to do an hour without a challenge. Every day, if I want to make it, first of all, the Yetzer Hara always tells me an hour, or try to cheat. It's an hour already. I look at my phone. It's not an hour. It's like just amazing. Because Hisbodedus is such a powerful tool. It really brings you close to Hashem. That's why it's so difficult. That's the yesod of anything that goes difficult must be very, very good. If it goes easy, And, this is all over, all the Chassidish have this classic, no. All of a sudden you want to do it very badly, and then you think it's a mitzvah, check if it's a mitzvah. No mitzvah, all of a sudden, that's the nature of it. So if Hisbodedus is going difficult for you, know that is your greatest ticket. And who in the world, I want to tell you, if you start doing it, I guarantee you after a while you find such an inner peacefulness that there's nothing in the world compared to this. There's nothing to explain, but the more you meditate, the more inner peacefulness, you more have an inner peacefulness with yourself and people are surrounding you, and you love life. I must tell you, most people wake up in the morning and don't love life. No one wakes up and goes, yay, I'm alive. Most of wake up in the morning and do I really have to get out of bed, push the snooze button, maybe I could stay under the covers for 3 days and not get out. You know why we're not in love with life? Because life is frustrating. We have no one to talk to about it. Life is very frustrating. It's very challenging. But if you have, you could talk to God. You're talking to, that's what he asked me how I start. I meditate about the greatness of Hashem, and I says, I am talking to the creator of the universe. Sometimes I tell him, God, you created me and you gave me this Michigan. That's what you gave me. This is my challenge. Help me overcome. I am his creation. You created me. And certain things I'm at fault. Certain things you put me in this situation. That's what I am. I need your help. Just thinking about it, you're talking to the creator of the universe. That's why I meditate about the greatness of Hashem, and it just makes the meditation so much easier. Talking to him makes it so much easier. Just thinking about, I have a picture on my phone, a picture of Earth, from the moon. It's, further than the moon. It looks very small. Imagine there's a picture also have picture of Earth from Mars. It's a tiny dot. People think, what's going on over there? Nothing. It's a dot. What's going on in this Earth is mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling how great, awesome Hashem is. He makes every trillion of ants and what goes on in the world, and every person, how he runs the world, and he's aware about everything. And why does Hashem create this whole world? For one reason. He wanted us, the Rebbe says, Mu Hashem shoymimcho. But Kaviyuch the is begging, I have created everything. What I need from you is Yerushalayim. And you're asking for Yerushalayim. Can you imagine how happy God is? This is what he wants from us. He doesn't want the World Trade Center. He doesn't want any of the, what he wants? We should choose right. We should be close to him. That's what God wants from us. So that's so powerful. If you take time, talk to Hashem, that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted the whole universe about. He wanted us with a free will to choose, and he put it down. Many people ask, one of the sikhs when I was young, gives me a lot of chizik. You have your ups and downs in life. The Rebbe says that it's the Rebbeinu Shem created of it all about knowing that even though you're going to fall, but it's so great by Hashem, the time you get up, then you get close to him. So even though you fall, and you haven't talked to Hashem, and you messed up, but the fact that you got yourself up, because there's no way life has ups and downs. Hashem life is better, but I always give the Moshe had a heart transplant. How do you know when a person is alive? When they're hooked up to machines. As long as the lines go up and down. But if it's flat, it's over. As long as you have ups and downs in life, you are alive. Sometimes you get, whenever I'm down, I say, I'm alive. I always tell myself, I'm alive. I am down now. I'm disappointed. I'm depressed. I'm frustrated. I'm alive now. So, how you get to this? The more you meditate, the more you talk to Hashem, the more you become self-aware. Maybe it should help us all. That once upon a time, Rabbi Kramer's group was a round table. Used to tell everyone, take upon yourself to change one thing this year. When you leave the Rebbe's Tzion, say, you start the Yom Bocher, finish the Masechta, finish Mishnah, tell yourself, I am going to do Hisbodedus this year at least 20 minutes. And someone told me, an amazing thing, someone told me he did it every time he does it for a month, the 20 minutes, he rewards himself. He's a businessman. I said, what did you do? He didn't want to tell me he went on a vacation, but but he said, it feels great. He says, I feel so good about it. I push myself. I want to tell you something. Hisbodedus doesn't go easy. I'm just talking by my own experience. I'm doing it 45 years. It never doesn't go all of a sudden, you know, I sit down and whammo, an hour goes by and I tell you, it never happened. All of a sudden I wake up, it's 2 hours of meditating. It never happened. It's embarrassing. It never happened to me. Maybe others, to me, it never happened. That, you know, all of a sudden, you know, I'm supposed to make an hour. Look at the clock, it's an hour and a half. That shows how powerful the Manias is. I want to thank Rabbi Kramer for having all of you here. Maybe she should help us. That she was